Morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, and I still got plenty of stuff to work on. Today, I'm practicing paradiddles. I'm starting nice and slow, and I'm just going to go up one click at a time as I slowly speed them up. Now, in these live streams, there's over 500 of them with timestamps in the description to show what I was practicing or what I was talking about in all of these. Now, because I've been drumming for so long, and because I've taught every grade, kindergarten through doctoral student since 2003, I get questions about how to get better as a performer or how to get better as an educator, and I often edit those responses that I give on these live streams and put them in this drumming tips playlist. So think of this like office hours. I'm here to practice and get better, and if people have questions about different topics related to drumming or teaching, then I answer them in the YouTube chats. The title is the first thing that I talk about. So for example, why tenor drummers use French grip. But if it says and other drumming tips, that means there are more topics inside of there that are not related to the first thing. So if the first thing doesn't interest you, check the timestamps in the description. Hello to you, Braden. There might be something of interest to you in these videos. Now, I am going to be working on technique, so I'm going to have Shia LaBeouf here help motivate me to grind this out the technique. So we're going to hide him because of copyright. It's going good. How are you doing? Here we go. Shia. Do it. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. Hello to you. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just, hello to you. Do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. Thank you for subbing. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Thank you for subbing. And thank you, Shia LaBeouf, for motivating everybody. All right, so on my home tab, this is where I'm practicing all the exercises. So it's organized into different sections on here. So we've got chop stuff. We've got grid variations. There's so many grid variations, you actually have to click to show all of them. We've also got limb independence, marching bass drum stuff, drumline cadences, sight reading, technique exercises, and then finally, here's where you can find over 20 hours of drumming Q&A, as well as some scripted lessons where I'm like showing you how to do something related to like your technique, like traditional grip. So this is called the overhead cam, and the overhead cam makes it so that I can demonstrate different stuff for technique and whatnot. But we're going to warm up with the exercise that I'm going to be grinding out today. So I'm just playing this one super slow. The exercise is in the technique section. And if you scroll down, it's inside of the Rudiment Builders playlist, and it's towards the top. So it's called Paradiddle Zoom Zoom. And where I left off was at 30 beats a minute. That's not the resolution that I would like. Thank you, though. So inside of the timestamps of all these thousands of free play-alongs, you can go at whatever BPM you want. So I want to go at 30, and I'm just going to play this for a couple of reps, and then I'm going to stretch or massage, and then I'm going to keep going with it. Playing this slow, thank you for the jewels, is going to make it so that I can refine my technique while practicing. So these are downstrokes for the paradiddles, and it breaks down the paradiddle into mechanical groupings. So we have the diddle part here, normal paradiddles, 7 of them in a row. Now off the left. Thank you for the jewels. I don't know what those do, but I appreciate it. Now, the second half of the exercise is going to play the first half of the paradiddle in terms of mechanical groupings. How's my day been? Great. How about yours? Thank you for the reacts. Off the left. So again, these are accented downstrokes, simulating the paradiddle, doing all the reacts. Hello to you. Cool. Now it goes up one click. Wow, so fast. We started at 20 on the last technique stream, working on the drum pad. I'm going up one click at a time until we get to a breaking point, refining my technique. It's a grind, but you know what? This is what it takes to improve. How do you do this? Practice slow, like I am. It's easier than it looks if you go slow. So the point of this exercise is to help you speed up your paradiddles. And if you're doing it one click faster, just picking a BPM slow, and then letting it speed up with the play along on my home tab, then you can refine your technique and slowly get faster at playing paradiddles. Thank you for the sub, Suki. Nihonjin desu ka? Mm-hmm, 32. Wow, so fast. What will we do? I don't know if I can do it. Ugh. Such a long tappa. What do I think about when playing these slow? Oh, all kinds of stuff. And some of it is related to drumming. The thing I'm focusing on for right now is my left thumb contact. Playing nice and relaxed and light on these accents. So I'm pulling back without like... So I don't want to do that. That's bad. And then my left hand, not turning it so that it's flat, so it's a German approach. I want to keep this American angle. And I'll elaborate on this when I'm not drumming. But those are the main things I'm focusing on. Not to mention the fact that I got multiple chats on the screen. Sometimes trolls saying stuff that you can't see, but I can see. All sorts of things. Or like thinking, oh, is that my dog barking? Or whatever. So, all sorts of stuff. But in terms of playing, refining the technique, staying relaxed, our primary concern. And, you know, also playing rhythmically in time. Because of the play along, it makes it so that I can hear if I'm just slightly off like that. Like, I intentionally rushed that ending point. But... in terms of the technique that I'm focusing on, so the contact point of the thumb, there's a tendency when I was playing it faster that my thumb, it moved the contact point towards the tip of the thumb. This is an exaggeration of it, but what I want is it to stay flat. So specifically the top left corner of the thumb, and I don't want it to do that. So that's a problem that I noticed when I was playing this faster. And the other thing is my left hand has this tendency to flatten out as opposed to staying at this nice angle. And so all these like concerns are mainly with the left hand because of marching traditional grip for high school, college, and DCI. Now that I play match grip, my left hand is like not at the level of my right, so I'm trying to get it to better match it. So that's what I'm focusing on while doing this. At least some of the things. Lots to work on. And once I get to whatever my breaking point is, like a few times faster than this, then I will slow back down and can work on something else. But these are consistent issues with the left that I'm trying to work through. I found that information because I played through this exercise going up like 10 clicks at a time until my breaking point, and then figured out what was breaking in terms of rhythmic, technique, sound quality, etc. And so now I'm slowing down and working on those things. So it's not just like a random set of things that I'm working on with my technique. It's very intentional. What did I think about while doing traditional? Wrist rotation, forearm rotation. So the main driver of traditional grip is rotary. So let me just give you a little sample of it. So with traditional grip, some of the most common mistakes that people have when practicing is, one, they'll have it so that the wrist is already turned. So the way that instructors usually like to talk about it is if you were to pour water in your hand, the water should pour out instantly as opposed to cup and pool in your hand. So this is bad. And the reason why this is bad is because when you're playing like this, it makes it so that you've already rotated and you can't rotate much further. So your distance from here to like here is already like maxed out. But if you start with your thumb actually on top and in alignment down the forearm and making it so that the water would pour out of your hand, like if you're shaking hands with somebody like this as opposed to like this, so then you have more room for rotation because you can actually pull back further. And so this is a common thing that a lot of traditional people have an issue with, is they're already starting here and then they can't get that range that they're looking for when they're playing, as opposed to starting here and then really being able to like actually pull back. Another thing with traditional grip that sometimes students would have issues with is like bending the wrist. So keeping it in alignment, going along like this, etc. And then focusing on rotation. The wrist is rotating along with the forearm is rotating. And while you're doing this, your bicep is moving up and down. So it's not a strength thing with the bicep. It moves up and down while you're doing the rotary. So it's not like a thumb motion. The only people that I've seen teach thumb motion are drum kit players, tenor drummers, or people who never actually like march DCI, and who are just guessing. And it creates a weak sound quality, an inconsistent sound quality. So if you're playing your taps with just your thumb like this, it's not going to sound as good as actually rotating the forearm. So that's a big thing that I focused on with this, is rotating. Even on the small taps, it's a wrist rotation. It might look like it's thumb at faster speeds for the higher world-class ensembles. It's not. It's just a really tiny wrist rotation. So you're just moving like this, is rotating around. It's not a thumb motion like that. So that was like the biggest thing when doing traditional. Natural slice. You want to try and avoid it, even if it is a thing. Like, it creates a weak sound quality. And there's actually a video under the drumming lessons playlist that actually talks about that a bit. So check that out. Speaking of, in the drumming lessons, there's, if you scroll down, this is my home tab. It's got a ton of stuff in here. But inside of here, there's a video that came out, I think last Monday, it became public, that talks about slicing and why it's bad. So it's inside of here. And it is this one. So it's gonna likely have a different title than you. It's doing like an A/B test or ABC test. 3 different titles right now, but it's the good bad thumbnail. So check that one out if you haven't checked it out. Talks about why slicing is bad and how it creates a thinner, weaker sound quality than going straight into the drum. But what I'm going to do right now is do the stretch and massage routine. So I'll use this routine that's in here, But I'm not going to demonstrate the traditional grip stuff because I don't do it anymore, but you can find the demonstration inside of here with better camera angles and whatnot. So highly recommend checking that out. First stretch that I'm going to do stretches the sides of the forearms. So I'm going to do palms facing up, sticks in the palms. You pull in, you push through. It looks funny. It feels good. Do. Yeah, so that slicing video talks about like what slicing is, why it's not good, and then some simple ways that you can try and fix it, whether you're doing matched or traditional grip. To get out of the stretch, just go out the way that you came. And then next what I'm going to do is stretch the underside of the forearm. So you could pull it back like this. You could do it on your pad like this. Or if you do it on the wall, the lower you go, the deeper the stretch. It's stretching along here. But again, don't put all your weight into this. You don't want to rip stuff. Jump scare. Looks like Flexi. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. Stay flexy. Okay, now what I'm going to do is stretch the top side of the forearm. So I could do it like this. You could do it on your pad. You could do it on your legs like I did yesterday during drum kit. Or if you do this one on the wall, the higher you go, the deeper the stretch. And you'll look like a zombie. Final stretch is thumb to thumb. So this is stretching the fingers. So we're starting large to small. So forearm to hand to finger. I'll do the same pattern for massaging here. It only takes like 3 or 4 minutes to go through this whole process, but it keeps your hands healthy. So when you're old like me, you can still drum. ASMR. Oh, little one. Enjoy. That was for subbing. You get a free ASMR experience. Enjoy. Oh, only one. Okay. Let's see how it is. All right, so the next section of this little routine for keeping my hands nice and healthy is massaging. So we're going up and down the forearm. If you do traditional grip, you might need to massage your bicep or even your tricep. The bicep moves up and down, as you can see right here. Moving up and down as I rotate the forearm. So you might get sore there. It's a speed thing. Again, not a strength thing. But for match grip, it's going to be the that muscle right there. So this is if you use a wrist motion. So this is not like flexing or anything like that. It's just literally just floppy wrist. But it's that muscle moving up and down. So you'll massage on the muscle, in between the muscle, around the muscle, etc. As well as other parts of the forearms to get everything nice and relaxed. Do. Okay, so switching to the other forearm. If you do rotary motions with the right hand, because you do like Steven's grip, which is a forearm mallet technique, that's a rotation motion. You might need a massage up here as well, but I don't play marimba anymore, so I don't need to worry about that. Elbows caving into the torso while doing that. That would be for like very large motions, but my guess is what's happening is double check to make sure that your palm is not starting at an angle like this. Make sure that your thumb is on top and in alignment with the forearm, and that you are holding it like this as opposed to like this. So you can get the rotation from that, as opposed to having to like pull the elbow in for it. For like really large stuff, will your elbow move? Yeah. But it's not going to be like a crank it out like this and like stick it way out like that. Like you don't want that. One of the ways that somebody suggested was put a Kleenex or a tissue box or some kind of a shoe box or something small right here, to just like keep it so that your arm is stationary while you just practice rotating, so you can get that rotation without closing that gap with the arm. That can help out with that, to like get used to that feeling of what it's like to actually do the full-on rotation. But the other thing is that stretch and massage video, this one, the one that's pain-free drumming, it might be a different title. I think is A/B testing that one. But if you do that, the stretch that I demonstrated in here and hold it for like 20 to 30 seconds and then rotate to the other side for like 20 to 30 seconds and hold it there, then that can help you with getting better rotation out of that. Thank you for the jewels. What's my favorite game? Oh, there's too many. Like right now, I'm really enjoying playing through Yakuza. I'll jump on that in like an hour or so. So stay tuned. Let me do the next massage. So thumb is massaging the palm, fingers massaging the backside of the hand. I really enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotei. Those are some classic games for me. I like Dark Souls style games. Bloodborne, Neo 1 and 2 were amazing. Sekiro was okay. Wukong was good. I used to play like Battlefield back in the day and Fortnite, but now I don't really want to bang my head on the wall with issues with games like that. Your favorite is Minecraft? So in Minecraft, I actually modded the game, so I changed the code in it, and I put our dogs in the game, and some quests and stuff, based the tip of each one of the fingers massaging. And so I made it so that my girlfriend at the time would like basically like collect these different things like purple armor, which is her favorite color, etc., and make it so that it like had the little achievement that it would unlock, and the achievement would have a letter, and when you like rearrange all the letters for the achievements in it, then it would say circle of hearts. And then when she crafted a circle of hearts, which was like one of the custom items that I made, it actually made a ring box. So I then proposed to my now wife, and we've been married for over 10 years now. So if you go to here, inside of the gaming with my wife, so proposing through a Minecraft mod that I made. This was a long time ago, but like this was like the our base that we had built. But when she was going through it, she would discover like purple ore. And then our dogs were also there, so she could like craft like different stuff with it. One of the things she could craft were these hearts, and her favorite number is 7, so it's got 7 of everything whenever you craft something. But like along the way, she would find our dogs. So like that was Minnie, who was our dachshund that we had. And then she would follow these lights, and the lights would lead to our house at the time that we lived in. And then would craft. So it's got like the letter in here. So this is giving her some hints for what to craft. And so when she crafted a circle of hearts, then that would actually create a ring box. And then in real life, pulled out the actual ring box and proposed to her. And then there's her ring right there. So yeah. So I love Minecraft. It's a special place in my heart. Yeah, I love to snipe in Battlefield. Battlefield sniping used to be peak, and then they like nerfed it. Like hardcore mode was my favorite because it would get rid of like the glare and get rid of the kill cam and stuff. And I would go like games where I'd like kill 50 people and not die once and just absolutely annihilate the other team. It was fun. But then they nerfed it. I forget which Battlefield number it was where it just like it started to decline. But it like when it comes to like Battlefield versus like Call of Duty, it's like there's no contest. I definitely prefer Battlefield. Very chaotic but fun. Cool. And people aren't just running around trying to 360 no scope. Like they're actually destroying buildings, collecting objectives, etc. But anyways, rudiment builders. So I'm going into the Paradiddle zoom zoom. I'm just gonna keep going one click at a time faster with this. It's already counting off. Now that got my hands nice relaxed, that stretch and massage routine, now we'll play. Yeah, Battlefield 3 and 4 were good. Played, what was it, Bad Company 2, that had the open mics back in the day, and they had the ability to do, like, a wall run where you could, like, go in, clip through the wall. I love you. Where it makes so that you could, like, go through a building if you ran at, like, a 15-degree angle into the specific walls, and then you could shoot out of the wall, but nobody could shoot into the wall. So you just needed somebody who would be like supply ammo, and you could just stay near the objective and just annihilate anybody who ran by. It's hilarious. The game was so buggy. That was before they were like patching games to like fix that stuff. But Battlefield is good chaos. I haven't played the most recent 2. Maybe, yeah, I think the most recent 2 I haven't played. But it used to be my go-to game. And then I really got into Rainbow Six Siege. Like, that was a lot of fun, but it was like, the game was great, but the community was toxic. So it was like, I just don't care enough to like want to get yelled at by somebody who's on my team and who's dead. Like, that doesn't help. And like muting them, it's like, it puts you at a disadvantage from other teammates that are communicating. So I was just like, nah, no thanks. Accents are a little too heavy right now. Need to lighten them up. I want to play with a technique that I'll use when playing fast, so nice and light. The velocity, as I speed up the BPM, it'll make it so that it just naturally has a faster velocity on the strokes, which makes it so that the accents will be louder without having to squeeze. So it's not like a muscle thing, strength thing. It's just pulling back, let the weight of the stick do the work for you. These tap off are so slow. My goal is to try and get to 45 or 50 today. Late. I need water. Mizu o nomimasu. 美味しかったです。Alrighty. Here we go. 37. So fast. Woo! Slightly late. My bad. Now, this exercise is breaking it down into different mechanical groupings. So we've got the first half, which is the diddle portion. So when playing the paradiddle. And then the bottom half is the first half of the paradiddle, which is the herta. You can't play a paradiddle any faster than you can play those middle measures on that particular chunk right there. So this exercise is breaking it down into those mechanical groupings. It focuses on the second half and the first half of the paradiddle, and it does it off the right and then off the left. So highly recommend this exercise. I learned a variation of it from a guy who was the tenor soloist in Blast, and who taught cadets tenor line back in the day, Vern Johnson. So he's a legit drummer. You think I'm slicing? You actually wouldn't really be able to see from here because the angle is not lined up. So the way that it looks right here from the front is going to be different than the way it looks right here, etc. But 38. Boop. If you're going to be immature, you're not going to stick around. Or at least you won't be able to chat. Thank you for proving my thought that you are the kind of person who does not belong here. Weird vibes right off the bat, dude. Here we go. Whoops. Hello to you. Hello again. I was going out with my arm. I have never dated my arm. Like, what do you mean? So the technique that I'm using is a modified Moeller. So like, there's some motion here. Hello for the third time. And it's using this like whipping motion. This is like very exaggerated version of it, but a modified Moeller will use like a little bit where like the arm is going to move with it. And then with the Moeller stroke, it's actually this kind of kind of like the chicken dance when doing it. If you watch like Jim Chapin talk about it. Hello for the fourth time. I forget the name of his DVD. Well, it was a VHS, I think, back in the day. But you can find it on YouTube. I actually watched it recently. But if you search for like Jim Chapin Moeller, Chapin, Chapin for the last name. But he's got like a whole video on it. You don't use Moeller right now? Yeah, I mean, I used Moeller with marching. So it's a modified Moeller though. So it's not like full on like this. But back in the day, way back in the early 2000s when like Murray Gusick, Jim Casella, etc. were at Vanguard SCV, they were playing with like a modified Moeller technique. So they had this very fluid like whipping motion with like their accents and whatnot. So it's not a full on, like this is very exaggerated for the tilt of it. But they were using this like arm motion to add the little extra weight behind what they were playing. So that is heavily influenced my own technique in the way that I play. So having that weight in there is achieved with the Moeller without like slowing down too much and without getting the inconsistency in the sound by changing the angle of the stick like what you would typically do in a Moeller stroke where you have the upstroke that's like this, etc. Remember seeing that in SCV 2004? That is like a goat line right there. They played some notes. Don't leave? Okay, I'll stay here. 2003 is also a really good line. That was the first time they played double beat. Crackus, I think. So some people will do like less forearm motion, but I'm okay using it, especially with the technique that I use. You just went to the dentist yesterday, your molars are good? Yeah, you got the jokes. That's funny. I went to the dentist like 3 weeks ago. You were born in 2017? I was finishing my doctorate. Woo! In that month, I was defending my dissertation proposal. One way to feel real old. Reference points like that. Yeah, get wide range of ages. Most of the people who engage with my content are in their 30s, according to the YouTube data. But on the vertical feed, it just sends it to anybody. But I've taught kids as young as 5-year-olds how to drum. So I've had some 5-year-old students, not just like music or computer science students, but like taught drum kit to a 5-year-old. Name is Matthew. Really good drummer, especially for 5. You live in Indonesia? That's cool. I've never been there. You're in your first season of WGI? That's awesome. It's funny how you were born after I aged out. My last year that I marched was 2005, but I got into a car accident in 2005, so I didn't get in March 06 or 07, but 2007 would have been my age out. So I started teaching drums 7 years before you were born. So now I feel really old. Did I do WGI? Nope. I taught a WGI. I taught a group that became Dark Sky, but it's called Paragon. I taught their front ensemble, and then I was working with their battery, but then like financial reasons, the group ended up folding while we were getting ready. Had done auditions and stuff, but person in charge of it were the person in charge of it wasn't necessarily handling money the way that I would recommend. What year was I born? 85. I'm 40. So the goal is to get to 50, and then I'll chop out. You wouldn't have guessed? Yeah, you would have guessed like 1920. I'm old. Woo-wee! 5 more reps, and then I'll chop out. And then the next pad stream where I'm working on just a single pad as opposed to all these different pads is where I'll pick up starting at 50 and just go up 1 click at a time. I'll try and get to 70 or 80. We'll go slower. 40's not old. I mean, this person in the other chat says they're 8. So compared to that, 5 times older than them. But I agree. I feel young. Not that young, though. I don't feel like an 8-year-old. That's for sure. I wouldn't recommend it. There's a video that I'd recommend taking a look at. So it's a great question. I'll pause here. Your mom is 55? Nice. She's older than me. Okay, so if you go to the home tab here, since you said that you injured your wrist playing basketball this morning, do you think you should practice on your pad? I'd recommend resting, and inside of this drumming lessons playlist, I'd specifically focus on the recovery routines that I talk about towards the bottom in this one that says what to do 10 minutes, 1 hour, and 5 hours after drumming, where it says do this after drumming. So this one has things that I would recommend that you do, including like how to basically keep track or keep care of your hands. So like things that you can eat to help yourself out, but also it talks about elevating. So elevate your hands, legs, etc. And then you can also use heating pads or ice pads to like help with the inflammation. But I'd give yourself like a little bit of a break just so you don't exacerbate or make the injury worse. So I'd highly recommend checking out this particular video. It's informative, but, you know, also goofy. There's some moments like that. But if you're feeling better tomorrow, maybe try starting with just like a light warm up just to kind of get your hands going, and then do the stretch and massage routine and see how's your wrist feeling. But as somebody who has gotten injured before, I highly recommend giving it some time to just rest. And this specifically talks about that. So again, this is in the drumming lesson section, which is all the way down here on the home tab, but inside of there. So great question though. Be patient with it. You'll be back drumming soon, as long as you let it recover. Otherwise, you could actually make it worse, which would not be good. You don't have a drum in Indonesia? No, that's not true. There's drums in Indonesia. Indonesia's got some different drums, though. Hey, you're very welcome. I'm glad you like it, because I'm not changing my sense of humor. I try to be informative, but, you know, have fun along the way. Despite looking like I'm serious all the time, I am having fun. I would have students who would sometimes be like, "Are you mad?" No, I'm having a good time. I just don't smile. Especially if I was wearing sunglasses, then people would not be able to see the light in my eyes, and would assume that I was angry. So I would take my sunglasses off when I was teaching them. 8 is too young to be online. Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, luckily they jumped into a streamer who is family friendly, because there's plenty who are not. Some one of your short submission, meditation and focus concentration exercises for students. Any videos about this or recommendations? Thanks for the vids. Oh, you're very welcome. I don't have any videos that specifically talk about it, because I feel like there's entire companies dedicated to it, whether it's the Waking Up app with Sam Harris or Dan Harris, unrelated to each other. 10% Happier, he's got a couple of books on it, as well as a podcast. There's what is it? Insight Hour with I forget who it is. Is it Alan Watts? There's like if you look up meditation and like search online, there's a bunch that you can find on there. But like meditation is not this like you're just like this zen emptyless mind. But what you can actually end up doing is like focus on sensations, or even like use the different interval timers so that every like minute or every 2 minutes you focus on a different sense. So like for the next minute while the app is going, I'm gonna just focus on like staring at like an object, like a drumstick or whatever you want. And then when the timer rings, then I'm gonna focus on just listening to what's around me, and then I'm gonna focus on like I don't know my breathing. But there's different types of meditations that can draw the attention inward or outward. So it's what is it, interoception and exteroception, I believe. But basically, it's where you are either focusing on like what's going on, like how do I feel, like am I tight in my like breathing? Am I breathing from my diaphragm? Is my like calf sore, etc. So like focusing inward. But the other one is like focusing outward, and that's sometimes an easier one to do by like looking at something or listening to something. So there's many different types of meditation. My absolute favorite meditation that just like really calms my soul is it works best for me like laying on like a firmer surface. And the reason why is because I want to feel my heartbeat on it. And so like having something firm on the back just gives it extra ability to resonate basically. So when I do that, I'm listening to or feeling rather the timing of the heartbeat and the timing difference between like the heart to in the vein here to right here at the base of the wrist. And so that like flam that it kind of creates between that is like super relaxing for me. And so like that is like one of my favorite meditations to do. And sometimes I'll even do it if I'm like sitting in a waiting room, just like sit there and just like feel that motion. But yeah, there's a lot of meditation stuff. There's tons of resources out there, but those are just like some of the ones that kind of come to mind. But anything to just help with focus and concentration, like the what's it called, Breathing Gym by Pat Sheridan and Sam Palafian, those can be helpful as well. That can be like a form of meditation. But simple stuff like even just doing like box breathing, where it's like in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, or in for 8 or whatever. Or you could do like rectangular breathing, where it's like I'm going to breathe in for 8, hold for 2, out for 8, hold for 2, or the opposite of that or whatever. Yeah, those can help with the breathing stuff. And you can do that like as a part of like your warm-up routine. Like there was a marching band that I worked with where the stretch routine that they would do was basically a form of meditation. It was the same meditation or the same stretch routine that they do every single day. But it was also a silent stretch routine. So the idea was just to get it so that like mentally you were just focusing on one thing. And so like that would help put the marching band into like a mindset where they were like ready to rehearse. But had some drum corps stuff that was kind of like that as well. But yeah. So John, hopefully that helps out, like point you in some directions. What? Teachers say, Bell, this is me, Bell. I don't know what that means. Your old teachers from 4th grade look so strict, but every Monday, so that another beautiful day. It's funny. When kids would, so I've taught every grade, kindergarten through doctoral student. So when I was teaching at the elementary level in particular, when I was like teaching general music, sometimes the kids would like come in and they'd be like super tired. And so I'll be like, oh, okay, well I got a nice like gentle song I can play for you on the piano that would like help wake you up. And so I just kind of like get ready and act like it's going to be all quiet. And then I just wake up and start banging on the piano. Kids loved it. But that's the kind of sense of humor that like I had and still have. Like teachers, that dry humor. The Flam Heartbeat Pulse, you're going to have to try it. I highly recommend it. takes a little bit of a while to feel it, but the firmer surface, like carpeted floor or something, it works really well, as opposed to like a bed where it's just like too soft, and then you wouldn't be able to get it. But highly recommend it. Are you just thinking about something to be able to help students with focus? So one thing, I learned this from Huberman Lab podcast. What's the name of it that he calls it? I think parasympathetic breathing. I forget. So you do 2 inhales with the nostril, like fill up and then fill up as even more with the lungs. Well, I guess technically go this way as opposed to that way. So it would fill up and then fill up like even more with your breathing. So and do that like several times, and that can be like a really good way to just like refocus. It's something that if you can train either like the students to do, like when they make a mistake, like, oh, okay, I just like screwed up, and just like breathe in, and then let it all release. That can be a helpful reset. It helps with anxiety as somebody who has anxiety and who's prone to it. It can help with like doing a reset. So if like I'm playing like a frustrating video game, like if I'm dying to a boss like over and over, when I die to it, sometimes I'll notice on the gaming streams that I'll like do that, the double inhale and then an extended exhale, and maybe even a couple times to just like, okay, I'm resetting, just getting myself back into it. But sports psychology, it's usually within like the kinesiology department of like universities, but sports psychologists, they have an entire podcast dedicated to like the mental mindset of it, and to like be able to reset from it. Like I've got some books on the bookshelf over there. When I took a sports psychology class many years ago, it was almost 20 years ago. But those can be helpful for just like getting more of those like ways to they'll sometimes call it like the yips in the like baseball or whatever, where you're just like kind of like stuck in your head, and it does that like snowballing where you just like make a mistake and it just makes another and makes another, and you have those like the anxious nerves related to like not wanting to do that. But there's like entire books and podcasts dedicated to that. You aspire to learn breathing techniques? Aspire. Okay. It's funny. Play Rush? No, I actually like to play in time. Speaking of, we're going to play 47. Agent 47. Yips in golf? Yeah, it's in like everything. Basketball, baseball, whatever. There's a podcast that I listen to on YouTube, actually, that talks about it quite a bit for different sports. But just like getting stuck in your head and like ways to get out of that. It's worth your time. So I'm going to play this up to 49, and then I'll chop out, play something fun. Minecraft Lego set? That's cool. I actually have... We have some Lego stuff, but like this was one of them. So it's like a cube, like crafting table, but it's got different biomes inside of it. It's cool. I like it. Mother-in-law gave that to me. We've got some like artwork and stuff as well. Like that very famous Japanese painting of the wave as like a Lego set. funny. Anthony, I think you might be drunk. Lay off the sauce. It's not good for you. Let's put you in timeout. Say hi to the principal for me. Alright, last rep of this. Ender Dragon Lego set, that's cool. Yeah, it is a cool Lego set, right? We have a F1 that we need to build. You have the Mona Lisa? Oh, that's cool. You know, Turbo, one of the things, you talking about Neil, listening to like interviews of like really good drummers, it's amazing how many of them are like, I'm not talented, I'm not good at this. Like, they're just constantly like, it's just practice. And yet, we have those myths that are pervasive where people are just like, they were just born that way. Like George Estepariano Siberiano, I probably mispronounced that, so my apologies. But phenomenal drummer who's able to do some crazy limb independent stuff, wicked hand speed, etc. There's a video that he did of like showing his progress over like 8 years and like talking about how he was terrible when he started and like how he's just kept practicing and practicing, working on it daily, etc. Bonham too. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many like really good drummers that like all say the same thing. And like hearing interviews with like caption heads of like DCI groups where they're just like very aware that they still have more stuff to work on. But like yet still would have students who'd be like, they were born that way. No, they weren't. Listen to this interview. Or they'd say like, oh, well, you can play fast because you were born that way, Jared. No, I was terrible. Okay, so, do I like the 2010 Cadets lines? I actually, to be honest with you, so like, those years I didn't really watch drum corps stuff because after 2007, when I got into that like car accident in 2005, but in 2007 when I aged out, I kind of mentioned it in this video that I went from center snare to end snare twice. But when I watched the like groups give taps off the field, I legitimately like wept in 2007 because I was just like so sad that I was not able to complete what I had set out for myself as a journey. I would have had 7 years in DCI, but I only got to do the first 5. And so I was like so depressed whenever I saw a DCI group because it reminded me of what I had lost and what I wasn't able to accomplish or finish. So what I ended up doing is just like not watching any content for a long time. So like I just totally stopped like anything DCI related, anything WGI related. And it was only in the last like few years that I really got back into it. So there's like a huge chunk of time where I just like did not watch any of it. Cadets 2013 is what got you in a drumline. Cool. Yeah, I might need to look at that. Yeah, back in my day in like Cadets 2000, if you've seen that tenor line in particular, the drum solo, we actually played that solo in Academy in 2003. That was our drum break, was like literally cut and paste the Cadets 2000 stuff. So if you watch it, I was the snare soloist who played the duet with the bass drummer in the Academy in 2003. in their version of it, but Cadets 2000 was phenomenal. But yeah, Cadets used to be great, and then, you know, they folded, unfortunately. No one is talking? Well, there's another chat over there. Cadets 2005 was also really good. Yeah, they played consistently. The only thing that I didn't like about Cadets was they were very rigid with their marching and their playing. So, like, they played great, but it was, you know, tight. So it was the opposite of what we were talking about earlier. What's your name say? So there's actually multiple different chats. So somebody else is talking over there. So you're the only person who's talking in that chat, but somebody else is talking in this other chat right here. So you're right and you're wrong. But anyways, so I'm gonna chop out. Let's chop out with Let's do Flammus. You're kind of reminding me. Thank you for the jewels. Kind of reminding me of some old school stuff. So the Flammus play along and the Cheesy Poofs play alongs are the only ones that I have up that only show part of the music. So this doesn't display all of it. However, with copyright agreements from the original composer, Murray Gussick, what he said is I can make these play alongs so you can hear the entire thing. You just can't see the music. And the reason for that is because on Tapspace, on their website, they still sell Flammus and they still sell Cheesy Poofs. So anyone who's got those like different like sheet music examples, it's technically against copyright. So highly recommend not doing that. But anyways, the thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to play through this and you'll be able to hear the entire thing so you can practice playing along to it to make sure that you're like staying in time. We'll start off at a nice, comfortable 90. You're 10 years old, so can you play Rush? No, I don't like the Rush. I like to stay in time. I don't like to drag either. Just right with the metronome. Thank you for the jewels. Oh no, I screwed up. I was too busy like looking at the chat. I like how you have an emoji of my skull. That's cool. There's actually emojis of my face as well. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to go up by, I don't know, 5s? Sure, sounds great. And we'll go until I chop out. Can I play the band Rush? You're 10. I don't know what your age has to do with the requests. So these streams, I'm here like practicing or answering questions. Like it's not like a cover stream, so. Here we go. Mm-hmm. 100. 100. Here we go. Faster than Vanguard played it. Just kidding. Kid, you're old enough to know that you're being weird. So goodbye. Here we go. Welcome back. Now, some years they'd actually put an eighth note right here, as opposed to that 5-stroke. So they just tap. And then other years they'd play the 5-stroke. Some years they would focus on getting that second note of the flam tap back up. And then other years they would just let it naturally decay. So it depends on what like year you're watching. But let's do 105. It's a classic exercise. Do I like Dave Weckl? Yeah. There's so many good drummers out there. They're inspiring. Whoa! I gotta sneeze. Resisting. Don't give in. Your battery's getting low if it's at 9%. Fed, what do you mean by the copy paste with cadets? There were multiple years where groups would literally play the same show back to back. So like one year they'd play one thing and then the next year they'd play the exact same thing. Like Madison Scouts did that a couple of times, I think. I think Blue Devils even did back in the day. Or are you saying like the parts that they played in the show was like the same thing over and over? Sometimes that has to do with just like a part getting cut. So they just water it. If it's last minute. Did a sequel to the show, The Zone, in 2005? Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, Cadets were an interesting group. I don't think I can play any faster than that right now. My hands feel lethargic this morning. I didn't have coffee. Maybe that's why. But let's try it. We'll see how this goes. But first, a word from today's sponsor. Water. It's great. You should drink it. Use code Jared when buying water. Here we go. Last rep. Okay. Too fast. I like it. Okay. If you want to play this one faster, you can. This play along starts as slow as 20 and goes as fast as 160. So if you're playing better than I am today, you can go quicker. Every BPM in between. Now again, this one and the Cheesy Poofs variations are the only ones that display a part of the music because copyright agreements. But you can hear the entire thing, so it lets you practice it. Chop section is where you'll find 91 videos inside of here. I highly recommend taking a look at the shopping spree playlist. That's my favorite one out of the chop stuff, but there's also over 1,000 grid variations inside of just this section alone. Click the header to show all of those playlists. Limb independence. I'm going to practice that tomorrow. I'm doing those 2 wacky ones. Ugh. It was difficult yesterday, so stay tuned for more. But it'll be a difficult stream tomorrow, that's for sure. There's over 500 marching bass drum stuff. There's a bunch of drumline cadences and score format. There's almost 300 sight reading exercises. These are all scheduled to come out in, what's it called? November. Video is gone now? Is it frozen on your end? Looks good on my end. So yeah, I don't know. It might be a you issue. But yeah, I don't know why he's doing that. But there's a bunch of technique exercises. There's almost 500 of them. And then here's where you can find all of the drumming tips and all of the lessons that are like the scripted lessons and whatnot. So stay tuned for more. There's a new drumming tip releasing every Friday. There's a new drumming lesson releasing every Monday. And there's a new play-along releasing every single day. There's around 600 or so that are coming out over the coming year and a half or 2. So if you see any of these like members first videos like these 2 right here, they're all scheduled to release for free. If you want the early access to the 600 or so different videos, so you can see what exactly am I doing in this particular video, how are my legs doing that, just click the join button underneath any one of the videos. It's 99 cents and it gives you early access to all these videos, but I promise all this will come out for free. I don't have a paywall behind my content. I don't sell books. I don't sell apps. I don't sell courses. I don't teach privately anymore. I just give away free content. Oh, thank you for the subs. We crossed to 13,500 today. So sweet while streaming. Appreciate it. Anyways, I'm going to call it here. I'm going to get ready for Yakuza Like a Dragon. It'll probably be in about 15 or so minutes. So continue to play through that. Today I'm going to do some side quests, and those side quests are goofy. Some of them are like very wholesome, and then others are interesting, to say the least. So stay tuned for that. But if you enjoy these free resources, just share it with somebody else. If you don't enjoy these free resources, share it with an enemy. Goodbye.